again. Welcome to Showdown 2020 as we unpack what just happened at DNC Night 3. I'm Alex Haynes.
And I'm Tiffanie Lanelle.
Tiffanie Lanelle. So Night 3, heavy hitters, the heaviest hitters thus far. We saw something that we have not seen thus far. How are you feeling?
Once again, we started last night and I said I think that it got even better last night. Not that the first night was bad. But
last night I was really inspired. I really was. Like last night, I really, really felt the unity. I felt the unity. Tonight, I felt the message.
Yes, I think that tonight I felt it. Again, the theme for this convention has been uniting America. Tonight's theme was a more perfect union. And I think that each night I have felt the consistency in the themes that they are presenting. So I think once again, it's just another night of an even better production and an even better message of unity. So
I'm feeling a little raw. I have spiked myself with caffeine. So do you think us feeling the unity from what we saw, do you think America is feeling the unity? And is that enough to galvanize people and get them out to vote in November? Because I think at the bottom line, like at the end of this convention is almost over. A lot of what we're seeing right now, I want to know, does it matter? Have you heard something? And that's what I'm asking for people that are tuning in tonight. If you're tuning in for the first time, if you haven't been following us this week, we're just really unpacking it. So if you missed something, we'll probably highlight it. But are you moved? Were you on the fence before this? Are you struggling still? Are you still not with Joe, not with Kamala for one reason or the other? What is that reason? And what is going to get you to one side? And next week, we'll be covering the RNC. If you're stuck, or maybe you're considering voting, and I'll just say this: if you're voting for something else, you're writing something in, you're wasting your vote. You are wasting, you're wasting time. You might as well not even I wish you would vote, but before you go do something,
just don't.
Yeah, please don't do that. But yeah, Showdown 2020. Biggest moment for you, Tiff. What was the biggest moment for you tonight?
Oh, one.
We'll talk about more, but what the biggest moment for you tonight?
Obama, hands down. I think that his speech was heartfelt and packed a lot of punches. And I had to tweet, the tears that he was fighting back were about to fall down my face. I think that the messaging in his speech was just really, really well thought out and well communicated. So I think that was probably one of the biggest highlights of the night for me. What about you?
This is going to show that I'm really like a people person first, and music second, politics probably 10th. The ending of Kamala's speech when she dropped Mary J. Blige, best part of the night for me, hands down. I literally lit up. We were preparing for this, and that was the moment. Second to that, I think as always, President Obama delivers, and he brought what we expected. A lot of people at this point were not. A lot of people are like, it's unprecedented for a president to talk about a previous president and the policy of a previous president. It's unprecedented to have what we have right now. Like, it's literally unprecedented for us to have somebody that is wrecking everything, and not in a good way. And obviously President Obama is very triggering for the current president because he took to his Twitter account immediately. I think he was probably salivating, sitting in his drawers on his couch, like, I just can't wait to watch this. And he's like, he cheated. He spied on my campaign. Like, bro, you are literally dismantling the post office. The
Literally
United
are.
States post offices. So I think Obama was a big one for me, but I really enjoyed Nancy Pelosi. I honestly really thought that Nancy Pelosi, her history of what she has delivered to the people, what she stands for, she is an icon, I think. And I think I saw a tweet this morning, and it asked, like, it said, "Do men have women heroes?" And I retweeted it and said yes, because I believe that certain people can be your heroes, and sometimes you realize who those heroes are later on. I think in my mind, Nancy Pelosi and what she stands for, what she's done, what she fights for, she's definitely a hero. So I was happy to see what she brought to the table, and I think that a lot of people, if they don't know who she is, they were probably inspired just to see what she brought.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that there were a lot of dynamic speakers tonight. Definitely, of course, a message centered around who runs the world, girls. And so I think that was a good message. It also carried a message of diversity. It was a lot of diversity. We definitely saw, as we talked about, I believe it was yesterday, the different shades of America. So I was happy to see that as well. So
We
just
did. We did. I mean, tons of unity. I have to say this. I was extremely moved and heartbroken by the DACA story and the young girl that shared her truth about what happened, how her family was dismantled by the current administration, and its dismantling of policies that were placed are put in place by the previous administration, and people that thought that were obeying the laws of this land and paying taxes to this land, removed and dismantled from their homes. And I don't think people, when they are voting, they're one issue voters, or they are voting their conscience and not thinking about their conscience isn't expansive. You don't think about, we hear policy and we hear rhetoric and we hear buzzwords, and we don't think families, we don't think
right,
people. That's the
right.
problem with what's happening with COVID-19 right now. 170,000 people from America are dead, and I can't say it enough. Those were people. That was somebody's grandmother, husband, wife, mother, son. These people had lives, and when you diminish it to a number, you don't
Mhm.
feel it. But when you realize that they could have lived next door to you, they were someone's neighbor, somebody's coworker, a cubicle is empty, a bus seat is empty. It's just, when you think about it that way, it infuriates me, but it makes me that much more passionate and serious about making a difference this fall, and making sure that people are involved. So that's another, I couldn't skate by that, because it really, 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 really moved me.
I mean,
And
I think I completely agree, and I have to go back to one of the things that Elizabeth Warren said. This crisis is bad, and it didn't have to be this way, and that's all across the board. That's when you saw the stories about the farmers that were struggling, to the small business owners that are struggling, to healthcare, to DACA, to jobs, to the economy, to the environment, to everything didn't have to be this bad. It just didn't. So it's a problem.
again, going back to that same argument, people are like, well, people die every day. And so is there really a pandemic? That's just 170,000 in this country, people that did not have to die. They could still be here. That's the issue. And it we could go on all day on that. I do want to bring in our correspondents and the people that were watching tonight, just to see their thoughts and what they were able to gather from just the experience tonight. And I'm really wondering, like, my main question is the energy there? Because without there being energy, I'm hearing, in my circles, new circles, that there's momentum and things are building, but it's not like we can't get things wrong. So without delaying that, let's bring Sydney and Lydia into the conversation. Ladies, uh, good evening.
Hey.
Hey, hey.
Okay.
Okay, so I have the same question for both of you. Sydney, favorite moment, or the most impactful moment for you, and Lydia, same question.
I probably would say the most impactful moment for me would be learning more about Nancy Pelosi. As a person who was just diving into politics and learning more about it, I didn't know such an impact that she had. And she just reminded me, like me being a person that talks to her grandparent, the grandparent that can go and speak to, that can go and learn more, and the impact that she has on this election, I think was a great object for them to put her into this actual convention. I think one of the quotes she said was to pack a punch for the children. She also always brings it back to what she believes in. I think that was a big part for me. And then, of course, Kamala being last on the brain, we wanted to hear exactly what she was going to say because she's known for skating through a lot of her speeches. So I was really looking forward to what she was going to bring to wrap up this convention. I definitely think they brought the unity for tonight.
And let's be honest. I will say, I should say also because Kamala had hit a lot of points. I was really zoomed in and really connected to what she was saying, mostly because I did not want her to just laugh her way through and just kind of skate through. She did like she did in the primary, which is why I could not connect. And I was not silent about that. I haven't been silent about it. If you've talked to me about Kamala Harris, I've told you what my issue is. And it's not the issues that a lot of people have with her. It's just mostly that I don't know. Like I can look at her record, I can look things up. But when we have conversations with her, she just smiles and laughs and I smile. So I know what that can do. And people can just be enamored and confused because there are people in this world that don't smile at all. So she connects with people that way. But we need more. We needed, like, everybody that came tonight was a heavy hitter. They came with they packed a punch with their delivery, and Kamala did not disappoint. Lydia, when you what was the moment for you tonight?
The moment for me tonight was Miss Gabrielle Gifford in the whole mass shootings segment of the show tonight. Because me personally, I've been in a mass shooting when I was an undergrad, and it just touched me personally. And just hearing her story tonight just really, it took me there. It was something I hold true to my heart about gun violence, and I'm glad they brought it up and did a decent segment on it and didn't just, surpass it because it is an important topic. And so, yes, hearing Ms. Gabrielle Gifford's story was what did it for me.
Much tonight. There was so much tonight, so many different ways for people to connect. And I think what I'm loving about this week, and I will be completely glued next week to see, as we kind of compare what's happening, the Democrats, if they have done anything, it is they have shown that they are concerned about not just perception, but a truly displaying unity, displaying that the party is not monolithic. It's just not one. They're not focused on one culture, one race, one issue. That they brought gun violence to the table. They brought immigration to the table. They brought healthcare to the table. They brought the things that resonate with people and things that are being snatched away from people in real time right now. And so seeing the diversity on display is something that we have, I think Democrats have taken for granted, that people of color and immigrants and people of different races would typically cling to them because they seem more inclusive. But now the demand is there for them to show the diversity, and I think that they are doing that. I really am interested to see that with all of this on display. A couple of people I was chatting with tonight were like, how do you top people coming and bringing these issues to the forefront when your party is based or rooted in fear and separation and divisiveness? So I think, it's definitely going to be something to watch. If there was, Tiff, I'll throw it back to you. I don't know when it comes to if there was one issue that you had to say is most important to you in this election. A lot of us aren't one issue voters, but a lot of people are. If there was one issue in this upcoming election that is the most important to you, aside from just getting rid of Donald Trump,
that is number one.
What would it be?
Criminal justice reform, hands down, period. It's time for change. Too many people of color, too many people, period, of low income backgrounds or not of privilege by way of economic status are in prison or are serving mandatory minimums or are lifers that have been in prison since they were 15, 14, 16, 17, and are no longer violent or they had circumstantial crimes that they committed and are now spending the rest of their life in prison. So criminal justice reform is top priority for me. And I've said it before and I'll continue to say it again. Kamala and Joe both have troublesome histories with this. So I'm really looking to see some change in direction and some firm policies and changes when it comes to criminal justice reform.
I think that's a good point. I think you make great points. And I think that is where while we're getting excited for the election and people participating in the election, that excitement can't die after the election. And if Joe Biden is elected and Kamala Harris is elected to serve as vice president, being just as vocal about criminal justice reform, you cannot forget because you got this two big chairs. Like it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. Lydia, if you could just pick one issue that's really important to you in this upcoming election, what would it be?
It would be systematic racism. I mean, I know that's a big topic, and it covers so many areas, but that's just seeing some form of something being done, and in the form of what Tiffany just said, just seeing something being done about it, and like even arresting Breonna Taylor's killers, just little steps to get us to a better place is what's important to me.
Understood. And I think I think the struggle with that is that when there is not a desire to change it, people want to ignore it or say that it doesn't exist. And so the denial of systemic and systematic racism is bizarre to me because it's so rampant. There are studies, and if you guys are familiar with, I don't know why Jane Elliott is popping into my head, but you can literally find she's a race basically teacher, and she does demonstrations often with white people, and she did a demonstration. There was a viral video last year of a white man being arrested by the police, and he's like, stop, you're treating me like a black person. Like, how does that fall out of your mouth? It's not something like you really felt that. I mean, he was being arrested and tussled with, and the first thing that came out of his mouth is, "You're treating me like a black person." I brought Jane Elliott up, and when she asks about it, and she says, "Raise your hand if you'd like to be treated like black people," to a classroom full of white people. No hands went up. You could ask people in a white workplace, like, would you want to be treated like your black colleagues? They're going to tell you no. And so forget all of the, we're all equal, we all have rights, we know the rhetoric that and people spew it online, and you have it in your neighborhoods. I dealt with it in school growing up, and I've dealt with those same people. I mean, I don't know any of them, but they still write me emails and comment when I'm speaking on things like this. Oh, you have everything I have, and you like, come on, guys, really, let's just talk about it. Lydia, I think it's a really, really serious issue. It's a problem that needs to be addressed. I'm with you, Sydney. If there was one thing that you that's most important to you in this upcoming election, what would that be?
I can't say it's most important, but it's definitely sticking out in my brain is the issue with immigration. I've been following a lot of the headlines with not only DACA recipients, with the children that are being held hostage, and now there's reports of being sexually assaulted. I'm a big family person, and children don't have a voice. So this is a definite topic that I would say a lot of people have to pay attention to, because as far as we know, they could be doing anything to them under Trump's administration. I think it's definitely a big topic for Biden and Kamala to bring forth and to release these people. And now for them to be supposedly having to pay to see their children or to be released, it's a topic that I'm holding dear to my heart.
as we all should. We should still. I should mention that I would be remiss if I did not. That there are still kids in cages right now in this country. In this country, kids in
Mm-hmm.
cages that should not be there. Great. Well, I know you guys got to cover the all of the speakers directly. Sydney, which? Well, I guess tell us who you covered and what stuck out.
So I had the pleasure to pay closer attention to Hillary Clinton, who we know all too well. She ran against Trump previously, and she definitely brought up the fact that it's possible to still lose with the numbers against Trump. So we have to go out and vote. And she definitely mentioned that you don't want to have a foreign leader that can take control over this election. So she pushed the agenda to go out and vote, and she definitely brought up the topics of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd. So I definitely wanted to focus on what things she would bring to light because, Hillary Clinton does not sugarcoat anything, as well as Nancy Pelosi. These were two power punch people that they had lined up tonight, and I think they definitely came with a message that women are for the forefront and that we need to vote. So they surprised me. They did not hold back with their comments on Trump. Pelosi, I know she has her way with words with Trump, and she did not disappoint tonight.
Awesome. So, what do you think would be? Did you hear kind of the unifying message? Did you hear the theme of tonight's convention come through each of those speakers? Did you feel the Did you feel the unification? Did you feel the making a better union or creating a better union? Did you feel that in both of their speeches?
Honestly, I felt more unity with every other speaker than these two. It felt like these two speakers were pushing them separately. They spoke on how they knew both candidates, but they did not speak on how they would be able to work together. I think they spoke on each of their accolades, but they didn't necessarily say how they can come together with these accolades and push for a better future. But they did speak on good points that I think they felt that America needed to hear.
Awesome. Lydia, did you have any thoughts on those two, on Nancy and Hillary Clinton?
Absolutely. I mean, like Sydney said, I think they didn't hold back tonight at all. They spoke nothing but truths. I mean, everything that came out of their mouths was truth and they didn't hold back. I mean, they said what was on their minds and, they made me want to vote right now for Biden. I mean, I was just so inspired after they spoke. So yeah.
Awesome. And who were some of the folks that you played? I needed some caffeine myself tonight, apparently. Who were some of the folks that you were able to pay closer attention to tonight?
Yeah, so I was able to pay closer attention to Senator Elizabeth Warren. And, she started off her speech talking about COVID and how it's affected millions of people, or millions of Americans, and why Joe Biden would help those issues that people are going through currently because of COVID. And then she went into childcare because that is something that's near and dear to her heart. And because she was a teacher. And I love the quote. She said, "Big problems demand big solutions." And she's absolutely right. And unfortunately, that is something this administration has not been able to do, is handle the big problems that we've had. And I mean, it's obvious. And so, and she said the plans that Biden has in place pretty much are what's going to bring our country together. And I mean, he's going to fix these giant problems that we are having now because of this administration. And I honestly wish he had gone into a little more detail about Biden's plans, especially for the Americans that are unemployed now because of COVID-19 and what he plans to do. But then she finished up her speech talking about childcare and his plans. And she basically said childcare is a basic infrastructure of the nation. And he's basically going to make high quality childcare affordable for every family. Preschool is going to be universal. And he's going to raise the wages of every childcare worker. Now, I don't have any children personally, so this is not an issue that affects me right away, but I know this is an issue, especially now that kids are at home and going to school virtually. And you know, I think it's good that Biden has plans like plans for these issues. I just wish she would have gone a little more in depth. But again, Elizabeth did not hold back, just like many of the women that spoke tonight. And she said nothing but truths.
You raised
question.
Go ahead. I was going to just make 2 quick points. One, I don't have any children, but I know for a fact childcare is very expensive from all of my friends. And 2, I think it's interesting that you bring up the point that you are interested in hearing more plans, because I too am very interested in not only hearing some plans on some of the policies and promises that are being made, but I very much look forward to the day when we get the first 100 days plan. Alex,
so I'm going to sidebar. I'm probably going to jolt some feelings right now and really upset even the conversation, because I think that is where a lot of people are when it comes to the reason they didn't want Joe and the reason they didn't want Kamala. Liz had all the plans. I will tell you first and foremost, during the primary season, it was based on facts for me. What can you do? Everybody talks. Everybody talks. Liz had plans and they were all published. I don't understand how we can get to the point to where Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are running and they don't have the plans, and you didn't ask Liz for her plans, and y'all haven't put her plans that those plans are going to help you get elected. I don't understand what the problem is. I don't know why we are not like, and I guess, Lydia, I wanted to ask you the question. You heard childcare being an issue. Were you convinced that the Democrats had a solution for that? Like, even Liz talking about the fact that it's an issue, and her Aunt B came, and you know she started crying with Aunt B. I'm sorry that you cried with Aunt B. I don't have an Aunt Alma. I got aunties, but whatever. Aunt B came. You know, she showed up 3 days later on a Thursday with 7 suitcases and stayed for 16 years. Liz, you didn't have no damn child care either. So, like, you said all of these moving things and you moved all these people. So, but what the hell is going to change? And I'm not expecting Liz to give us the change, but Kamala talked about what she could do. You know, we know that her stepkids call her Mamala, and we know that her sister said she stood up for her. And we still know, like Kamala said, what she stands for and what she believes in and who she's fought for. But what the hell are you going to do? I'm still like, that's where we are right now. And people are going, like, the people that were saying, like, and that's why I'm saying, I know we feel momentum, we can feel moved, we can get emotional, and we can jump into it. But what the hell is going on? Like, what do we really have? And I'm finding myself, this is real passion, because I'm getting upset right now as I'm thinking about, like, I have been watching this closely for 3 days, and I am intent on understanding where what are we going to do? Is it going to come out? And because the debates are going to be spilled, especially the debates between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, it's just going to be literally the male housewives of Washington, because they are just going to be, Donald is going to be slinging insults. Thank you, Sleepy Joe. Do you want to take a nap? Like, he's just going to be coming for him. And Joe, if he goes to what Joe has been for us for the last 15 years, I'll take you out back. Like, come on, bro. What the hell are y'all going to do for us? And I'm frustrated with that alone. So then I got to move into, we're going to talk about Kamala and Mike Pence. We know there's no way that he can stand up to this Black woman. Mike Pence seems to me to have no backbone at all, but I don't think I'm going to get any solid policy out of that as well. So I'm going to ask the question that America and Black America specifically is asking: what are these two people going to do for us? Joe Biden was pressed on reparations earlier this week, and he has already said that it's not something that he's not thinking about. He's not focusing on one group of people. I didn't mean to do that to the conversation, but I mean, that's just where we are. This is where we are.
I mean, it is. And it's like, you know, we're kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you said, everybody says words, but it's like these two are better than what we have in there now. So it's support these two, get them in there, and then, you know what I mean, we can really focus on what their policies are and what their plans are. Even though we want to know that right now, it's like, you know what I mean? I know for me, a part of the younger generation is just like, let's put these two in there because anybody is better than who we have in there right now.
Understood.
Yeah, definitely. Lydia was saying, I think that's a generational thing. It's the lesser of two evils. So a lot of people, that's our big thing, is who can get Trump out of office. That's our ultimate goal. And I feel like they'll come back tomorrow with the answers, or I'm hoping they'll come back tomorrow with the answers that we're looking for, with the policies that they want to put in place. I feel like the leading up, it's kind of like a plan of action. So it feels like the leading up is trying to get us to know who these candidates are. We already know Joe. We're trying to get to know what he has done, if you haven't already known. And then we're trying to actually get to know Kamala now. So I felt like today was getting to know her. And then tomorrow we're going to go into what we want to see done, or what they have planned for us. That's what I'm hoping.
I hate to say it, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think tomorrow, it just isn't. I think tomorrow is going to be the big, woo, we've accepted the nominations and here we are, let's party. And honestly, if they do not carry the same energy into the debates and actually really hone in on, these are our positions on our policies and these are our plans, I think that's the whole thing. We're missing the plan. I don't think that they're going to get into that tomorrow. But that the debates, I'll be honest, I'm concerned. You mentioned the debates, Alex. If they do not really come into these debates with their game faces on, we could still lose this thing. And I have said it every show. I will continue to say it until election. He's got to go. He's got to get out of that White House, period. So I have seen people say, never Kamala, never Biden. Some people said never Trump, and here we are 4 years later. He's got to go.
So I'm going to say this, and I'm looking at Kamala's speech. So if I'm looking away from the camera, because I want to make sure I don't mess her words up, because I want to make sure that I just didn't make up that she was just saying words. And the thing is, I'm a communicator. I understand how words work and how they move people and what you say to move people. I get that. And so I think that I was literally, as we were preparing for this, I was listening. I had walked out of this room, and I'm hearing it, and I heard when she started saying certain things that resonated with certain people. And so she started talking about her family, her uncles, her aunts, and she said her sorority, the Alpha Kappa Alpha. She knows right now that some people are having problems with her issues and the mass incarceration that she perpetuated while she's running behind a candidate that was a proponent of the crime bill from 1994. So she says Alpha Kappa Alpha, our Divine Nine, for people that know HBCUs or you're associated with the Divine Nine, that piqued your interest. If you were not listening to her at all, you heard Alpha Kappa Alpha, you heard Divine Nine, you started paying attention. And so she goes on to say, and she talks about other things from going to choir practice. Those are the choir mistresses and directors and people that are working with the Sunbeam Choir right now in these Baptist churches and things like that. They're like, oh, she's my people. She's my people. And all of these buzzwords are fine. I'm fine with that. I think that we need more. Like, we can use the words, and she used certain words to connect with certain people. That's fine. I think you got to do what you got to do to get there. But you have people that have been rocking with you. and we're trying to bring people on board to move things forward and move your success forward so that you can do something in November and not just win, but carry us and bring sustainable change, not just change. Like, there was a referendum on Barack Obama's presidency, and that was Donald Trump. And so the success of his presidency is really what happens on November 3rd. Does Donald Trump remain for another 4 years and take that time to eradicate everything that Barack Obama did? I mean, he came in dismantling it.
And then some.
And I mean,
he came in with a stacked deck and he fumbled. So it was inevitable. I felt like we kept saying Trump would never do it, but he did, and he ruined us as a nation.
To me, he fumbled. To you, he fumbled. But to some people going to the ballot box in November, he's doing exactly what they wanted him to do.
Yeah. I still would like to know who those people are. At this point, I need to know. I just want to have a conversation. Because how? Like, what, unless you are running a multi-million-dollar company, what has he truly done for you? I'm going to be very, very honest here. I don't understand what anyone who is not a homie, lover, friend of his is doing, voting or supporting this horrible human being.
I have the answer, but I'm gonna let Lydia and Sydney take a stab at it. But I know I have the answer.
I mean, I know what you said yesterday, so I am also curious of what Lydia and Sydney's answers are, because I'm pretty sure I know yours, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to agree with it. So
you probably have an idea of what I'm going to say.
Lydia, why don't you give us your thoughts? What do you think it is that still has some people supporting this horrible human being? I think. What do you think it is?
I want to say it's just a form of cognitive dissonance. Like, people don't want to be in tune with reality of what's going on, or like the issues that's going on today just don't affect them. So, and they're okay with that, and they don't want to do anything about it. So they're still okay with what this man is doing and the things he says about different groups of people. That can only be it. A form of cognitive dissonance. They're choosing to be disconnected from all the issues that are going on right now.
I think that's a valid piece of it.
Yeah. Sydney, what about you?
And I have to agree with Lydia, as well as people just don't, because there's so much going on, so many things clouding their like judgment. They don't want to be aware. They know we have election coming up. They know we have things that need to be done. But for the majority of people, if it doesn't connect to them personally, it doesn't matter. So they're just going to go and do what they have to do. And some people just take like the voter suppression thing. They take that with a grain of salt. Oh, the machines are down, so I'm just not going to do it. So it takes a community. It takes a village to try to get us together. I think that's what we're trying to aim here with the message. But my grandma used to say it's a lot of people that are in plain sight that are still voting for Trump. And those people are in power. And so those are the ones that are keeping him in office. But it's the little people who have no power that have to team up and try to take over and take him and get him out of office.
I think there are three types of people. I think there are people that love reality TV. And I said this yesterday, that there's a generation that has only known reality TV. They don't know sitcoms. They don't know the shows of old. They don't really know the Golden Girls, Family Matters. They don't know the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They don't know, even let's go older for people that are way older than me. Leave It to Beaver. They don't know Mama's Family. They don't know like the shows of the 80s. They don't know any of these shows. All they know is reality TV. And so they are attracted to sensationalism. Donald Trump gives them sensationalism. Totally. They feel it, they understand it, they resonate with it. Everything else seems boring because he has buzzwords and he is ready with a comeback every single moment. You know, he drags people on Twitter, which is what this generation does. That's one thing. You have people that believe that we needed a businessman in office because they believe all politicians are corrupt. I actually wouldn't disagree with those people because, and I have conversations with people all the time. I'm making it my platform. People that are serving as politicians are supposed to be of the people. They're supposed to be not people that are lawyers and people that are affluent or in place because a corporation put them there. They're supposed to be of the people. Finally, there are people that believe that he was put in place and he was dog whispering, but now he's blatantly racist, okay? He's blatantly not just race baiting, but he is racist. And there are people that believe that he was put in place or voted him in place so that he could restore white order and put people of color, Black, Asian, Mexican, back in their place. Mexicans are rapists. I don't want people here from shithole countries. Like, these are things that Donald Trump, the president of the United States, has said. And there are people that are in plain sight, like you said, Sydney, that resonates with them. They can't say it. They will get fired from their job. So they want their leader to say it. And they are okay with that. And those are the people. Those are the people. They are the ones that aren't listening to us when we say Black Lives Matter. And they don't want to know that they deny that those three words mean anything. Black means something, lives mean something, matter means something. And they made it about an organization. And they started associating it with names that we don't even know, we've never heard of. And they buy into these conspiracy theories and they think, oh, well, no, these people are being controlled. These Black people are being controlled. There's all police are like what the hell? But that's just where we are. And so those people are denying it to you in plain sight, and they are able to convince Black people that Black lives don't matter. Or that Black people, we should just know everything is equal. We should just suck it up and do our best. We need to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and do the best that we can, as if we cannot show you documentation that this system was designed this way.
Right.
It was designed this way. And so we say this all the time. The system's not broken. It is working as designed. It has to be dismantled if it's ever going to work for everyone. So those are the people. And so I don't know, when I look at these speeches and even from what we heard tonight, honestly, I didn't give Hillary her props, but she was probably the realist. This is a fist fight. You have to show up. We can win by 3 million votes and still lose.
She said it happened to me.
It happened to me.
It's literally what happened. And I think we are like, people are like, oh, I don't like her. I don't care. She was right. She was right. Like, it doesn't matter. This isn't about who you like. It's not a popularity contest. But Donald Trump wants you to believe that. And so that's why it's so important for you to educate your friends and let them know, expose them to things like this, because they're going to believe anything. People repeat things from leaders that they don't even support all the time because we live in a soundbite generation. And that's just what it is. It's very frustrating to me. I get very passionate and I'm very upset about all of this.
I think that, another thing that we have been talking about is returning to the basics and unifying the country and everything else. And I think it's very interesting and was very poignant for Obama to be where he was, to make the speech that he made and to say what he said. And I think that he was another one that was just very, if you weren't listening to anything else he said, your ears had to perk up when he really just started going down the line of what we are facing right now. And I'm just going to read a portion of it. I never expected that my successor would embrace my vision or continue my policies. I did hope, for the sake of our country, that Donald Trump might show some interest in taking the job seriously. that he might come to feel the weight of the office. We talked about that earlier this week too, and discover some reverence for the democracy that had been placed in his care, but he never did. For close to 4 years now, he's shown no interest in putting in the work, no interest in finding common ground, no interest in using the awesome power of his office to help anyone but himself and his friends, no interest in treating the presidency as anything but one more reality show that he can use to get the attention he craves. He hasn't grown into the job because he can't, and the consequences of that failure are severe. They are severe. 170,000 dead Americans for a pandemic that did not have to be as bad as it is. Many, many Americans have lost their $600 unemployment benefits. Many Americans, Alex, you and I were speaking earlier today about a mother who received a very rude eviction notice during these times. Rent and mortgage moratoriums are ending. Protections are ending. We are in pandemic, we are in a crisis, and we have a leadership that is not exhibiting any form of leadership in any sense of the word. And not only that, for anyone who is saying, we need a businessman in this position, he's a terrible businessman. He's had multiple companies and investments go into bankruptcy. So that's not even a plausible reason to keep him in the White House. It wasn't one to get him in there in the first place, but that's beside the point. We're here now. But he's a terrible businessman. So he's a horrible human being. He's a terrible businessman. There's no reason for him to stay in this White House. He's got to go.
Here's the thing. I believe that the man he's incapable of empathy and sympathy. But he has no empathy for people that have lost their businesses or lost their livelihood, because anytime he's lost it, he's lied about losing it. And then he files bankruptcy, and then he starts another company, loses that again, and lies about it, and never claims, he never claims to have lost anything. He's never claimed to have lost. And we know there's tons of failed graduates from Trump University that lost their money. But his business is closed constantly. He failed running casinos.
Right.
He failed running casinos.
It's a casino. You have one job to make money. It's a casino.
But I think it's a moot point to talk about people that support him because they're going to support him because they want to. It's like, I feel drawn to him, or he has star power. If you feel like, and if you listen to, again, if you're watching for the first time tonight, or you're stumbling across this and you're watching it back, and you're like, what the hell? I just listen. You listen to one thing, one thing. The people only talk about one thing. You're going to have to force yourself to find out what other people are consuming. What other media do they consume? What other news do they consume? It's very difficult to do, especially if you don't agree. But it's good to understand, even if it's opinion, because a lot of the news sources or news platforms give you more opinion than news, but it's important for you to understand what's there so you know what you're up against. Because we can sit here, any person that's here, while we're doing this convention coverage, or people that come visit me on my show, you can say what you want. People have the same argument for Obama. And they sit there and say, Barack Obama was horrible. Obama was a terrible president. And it's like, they just, they do what fits them because they only understand one thing. And you have to have more than tunnel vision when we're talking a general election, because it includes everybody. And I don't know how to stress that. I stress that to right, left, centrist. It's very important for you to understand the big picture here, that everybody, if you saw the roll call yesterday, the DNC roll call yesterday, they did a really good job at showing you how inclusive the party is, but how it looks like everything. I said yesterday, I saw all the places that I never want to visit. I would never want to live there, but I also never want to visit there. There's nothing there but cows and wind. I don't want to go there. But they're going to be voting on November 3rd. It's crazy when you think about it, that these people that don't have anything but wind and cows are voting for the same person and the same policies, but they live in different worlds. And so America is a huge place. People are all over the place. And so it's asinine to believe that we are the only people here. Like it's asinine to believe that we're the only people in the universe. But it's it's asinine to think that we are the only ones that have an opinion and our opinions are the only ones that matter.
Right.
That said, it takes people that are willing to go to the other side. And that's what I like about Joe Biden's history. It shows that he was, and I think this is where a lot of people get lost. He has a record. He's been in Congress since 1973, right? So he's doing this, like I said, forever. And the record that he had there, he was often bipartisan in a lot of the policy that he passed and worked towards. But these days, things have changed. Like, I mean, if you're trying to do the quick math in your head, 2020 minus 1973, that's going to give you the number about how long he's been in this government. Things have moved. He would be considered very centrist, almost a conservative Democrat at this point. And you've got people that are still somewhat closer to that centrist line. But then you've got a whole nother generation of people coming into the electorate that are far, far left, and they want this, and I want equality now. I don't want a label now. I don't have to tell you my name, and I should be able to get a job. I'm a citizen here. I don't have to prove it to you. Like, it's people that are just like, that's where we have gotten. And so understanding that, and also those people also have to understand that people were here before them.
Right.
And they are also voting. Like, you can be 18 and you're voting in the same election that somebody that's 77 is voting in. At 77, you're cranky about everything. You're mad about everything. You know, you want justice for your kneecaps at 77. I'm speculating. I don't know. I'm nowhere near 77. If you double my age, I'm still not there.
It's time to go.
But the point is, those people, we have to understand this. We have to understand this. And I think those are the conversations that I want to hear. I think those are the conversations that we can have. I think this is part of the problem. And tomorrow we'll see. We'll see. And I'm going to come here on a whole nother rampage tomorrow. I'm going to have something else to say if we have 4 days of words, because then I'm going to talk about all of those words. I'm actually going to make sure that I can say, look, they said these words. We have no policy. We have no policy. We have no policy.
What, Lydia and Sydney, what do you think, or what are some things or some talking points that you feel you need in order to have those types of conversations? Do you feel like you're missing information or missing tools, missing resources or anything to have those types of well-rounded conversations?
As far as
for me personally,
I was like, go ahead, Sydney.
Go, Lydia. Oh, for me personally, I feel like I have the tools. It's just a matter of actually taking the time to read them. I see someone said the power on the website, but you actually have to go out and read, and that's for a lot of people. You have to educate yourself and speak to people. I speak to older generation because they have been through so many things, but also having conversations with my own generation is a big thing as well, and getting a kind of knowing what we all want as a community, as a nation, and actually learning and trying to see what exactly we're going to be looking for in leadership. So I do have the tools. It's just getting out there and actually utilizing them.
Interesting. Lydia, what about you?
Absolutely. I feel the same way Sydney does. I feel like as a part of this younger generation, I do have the tools that I need to have these different conversations. I think what I want more of is more input from older generations, because I feel like from, social media and all those kinds of things, I only get one perspective. And sometimes it's a little hindering because, if you're not well-rounded, then you're not really knowledgeable. And so I feel like I have the resources. I just would like more input from the older generation.
I'm assuming you don't mean older generation as in Alex and I. I'm kidding. But I think that for me, I said she's not talking about us. I think for me, I'm missing the plans. I need the plans. I need the talking points of the plans because right now my only answer is Trump has got to go. And that's only going to get me so far in the conversation. Excuse me, especially when I have my own qualms about where we are. I'm 2 seconds from just getting a shirt that says straight out of options. So, I need some planned talking points that I can say, well, here's what their plans are for criminal justice reform, and here's how I'm going to hold them accountable to this. Alex, what about you?
I said what I need, and I need. I've seen there was a comment tonight. Ruth, thanks for watching. Told us that there were plans on Joe Biden's website. I've been there, ma'am. Those are not the plans. Okay, they're not. Right. They're not. It's not sufficient. Okay, like Joe Biden did release a plan for African Americans. Again, I say, and I haven't said it at all this week in our coverage. Sydney will know. I say on my show all the time, Black people are not monolithic. One Black plan is not going to do it. It just does not work. It doesn't work. We're not all the same. And it's the lift every voice plan. The thing about, okay, all right.
That's a whole different show. I actually don't need your Black plan. I need solid plans.
What I want you to do, what I want Black people to do, I want all people, but I can't fight for all people, so I fight for Black people. I want Black people to talk to each other. That's what I want. I think young, old, middle age, and I will say, yes, young people are arrogant. They think they know everything. But middle-aged people, y'all are some of the worst ones as well. As I get closer to middle age, I feel my boldness that I'm not talking to an elder. I'm telling your ass that you need to talk to some young people and be honest. Say what you don't understand, because they are living in a world that they're going to do what they want to do and rebel about things that they don't like. Donald Trump, like the Republicans are not paying attention. And I think one of the main problems that we're going to see in this upcoming election is that people are focusing on who has voted in the past. We know that usually people don't start participating in the general elections until their policy starts to affect them. So that happens when you're out of college, you're working. I'm paying all these damn taxes. What the hell? You realize what's going on, you start voting. People really start jumping into it traditionally around 27, 30, 33. They really jump into it. They start understanding it. What's happened is people, younger congresswomen, AOC, people have gone in and excited younger people. And so I don't know why no one's paying attention to this, but these kids that have had their graduations taken away from them and their first year of college taken away from them because of a pandemic that's out of control, because they're watching the rest of the world frolicking and doing what the hell they want to do. And they did not walk across the stage after they sat in these boring ass classrooms for 13 years. Now they can't, they're still stuck at home with their parents, their first year of college. Do you think they're not going to the polls? Do you think they're not going to show up? But they're not voting for the same thing their parents are voting for because maybe they hated the way their parents did what they did. And so if we don't talk to each other, we're going to miss it on all sides, whether you're on the right, on the left, in the center. It's going to be a complete cluster. I'm not going to finish the rest of that, but you know where I'm going with that. If we don't talk to each other, we got a lot of problems. And so that's it. I feel like I'm spent. I feel like we've been doing this for 2 weeks and it's only been 3 days.
It does feel like it's been 2 weeks and we still have next week to go. And on that note, I already need a nap. So, Lydia, what are your final thoughts for the evening? Final thoughts on tonight and what you are hoping to see or hear tomorrow?
I am hoping first off, the first 3 days of this has been pretty well so far. I've liked it. I've been inspired. I think it was a good start. I love the candidness and the honestness, especially from tonight's speakers. And in the future, I hope to hear more policies and plans. And I hope that even during the debates in the future, that the Democratic candidates can stay strong and not fall into childish ways like we know the other party will do. So that's all I have to say about that.
Awesome. Sydney, what about you?
So in the first couple of days, I see that they've pulled on the heartstrings of a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to the basics, the groundwork. I don't want to know about what they've done in the past. We can talk about what they've done, their accolades, till we're blue in the face. Like we said, I'm hoping that they'll actually go into what the plans are, future, what's planned to enact tomorrow. If not, we'll see what exactly they have planned. I did not need the music. It's nice, but we're here to talk business. So I'm looking forward to that mainly.
Awesome. I look forward to November. I look forward to November. And I look forward to firm, solid plans. Alex, any final thoughts?
Sure. Beyonce's not needed, but Jennifer Hudson.
Okay. It has been lovely. Nice gowns. It has been a lovely evening. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you for joining us. For those who are watching, for those who missed any of this or any of our coverage this week, you can catch the replay on really any of our social media. It's everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of the places. So make sure you check that out. And then, of course, make sure you check us out here tomorrow once again for the last night of the DNC coverage. And then we'll be right back here next week for the RNC. Yeah.
We'll be back next week for the Lipless convention. Yes, we will be. No doubt about that. Okay. That's going to do it for us. Make sure you download the Black News Alerts app. It's in your app store or the Boss FM app because we are on both networks. Listen, guys, tomorrow night, it may go down because it seems that I started to unravel today. So we'll just see what happens tomorrow.
I'll show up tomorrow. It should be interesting. You might want to grab a beverage for that one.
I'm bringing one. Absolutely. I'm actually going to make tomorrow Friday. I've made that decision. I've made an executive decision. Tomorrow is my Friday. All right. So we'll be here and we'll conclude the show and that'll conclude my week.
Awesome.
All right. We've turned into clowns.
Yeah.
Lydia, Sydney, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful night and we'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.